Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Smite Show. First one of Split 2, Winter OPL. I think that's the general consensus of what it should be called. We've got a few things to talk about tonight. So really looking for a lot of community feedback, a lot of community interaction tonight. And we do have some special guests, some ones we haven't seen before on the Smite Show. And we've also got some which have been here before. Of course, the first one is Nightfall. Good evening, Nightfall. How are you?
Hello there, I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks. For those who don't know, Nightfall, of course, is a Smite admin over at Cyber Gaming. He helps those things behind the scenes, and as soon as we can figure out what those things are he does, we'll let everyone know. We've also got Timmy, an old face here on CGTV Smite. Is obviously Timmy. He is casting this split in the OCL, which we'll get to a little bit later, and also some Challenger Cup stuff. Good evening, Timmy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty alright.
Awesome. And then last one joining us, everyone, of course, knows this individual. She's been absolutely fantastic through the whole scene, always putting a lot of effort. It's a real privilege having her on tonight, and also the first time I think we've had a girl on the stream, unless you include Giles, of course. But we do have Devane. Good evening, Devane. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Hi.
Awesome. So, first of all, let's talk about last week. Last week, of course, was week 1, split 2 of the OPL. We did see some good games. We did miss out on Deadweight versus who played Deadweight? Insight. We missed out in the first game with that. A few problems with the servers, of course. So I'm just going to pull up the results for that now. There's the results.
I was actually quite surprised to see Insight losing 2-0 to Deadweight. Like, no one really picked that.
I think.
Yeah, very few.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think when we look at the players on Insight, and I'll need you guys and your expertise here, but you've got Biggie, you've got Maxon, Kiki, who stepped in, but it is his last game. I understand. Who else is there? Like, there's some big players
There's
on that team.
Yada and the Beast.
Yep.
Yeah,
Laney
they're all like
is the
huge
ADC,
names.
but he wasn't there.
Sorry?
Who was that?
Laney's the ADC, but he was subbed out.
No, we're only talking about the good players on the team.
Yeah, Laney doesn't count.
Laney is a...
So of course, yeah, like you said, you got Biggie there, one of if not the best player in the region. Only good at solo. Is that who you said? Abyss.
Yeah.
Oh, the Beast. Sorry, and then Maxon, Yada. So you got all these great players, and I definitely thought, hey, this is a team to watch. They're a team I can expect to. Well, I think would be playing. Let's go with Panda in the finals and really having a good one. And it's only week 1. There's 10 weeks. We've got a huge amount of Smite coming up in the next 10 weeks. But they did go down to Deadweight 2-0. So what were your... did anyone here not catch the game, Danny?
I didn't.
You didn't.
I'm busy, man. I can never watch anything.
Well, lucky
So
the VODs are up there. So what? Tell me about the game, Josh.
Well, covering the first game real quick, someone was live spectating it and they said that Insight was ahead, but then Deadweight came back somehow. They didn't see how exactly, thanks Linky, but that's
Linky.
better than nothing. So I don't know, game 2, I need to reread what I've recapped here. So Insight was ahead, but then Deadweight decided to come back and destroy them again in game 2. And like the communication from Insight was just not there at all. Whereas Deadweight was like, we'll play as a team. And then they just won. Like, it's as simple as that.
I think a big reason for that may have been over towards the duo side, because you've got Biggie, who hasn't played for that roster for quite a while. Kiki and Mio isn't on the main roster, so there's a little bit, maybe a bit of miscommunication there. And then on the opposite side, you've got the new guy, the Beast, coming in, who he actually praised a fair bit, but I didn't really see a huge amount. And of course, Yada's been bouncing around, so everyone was kind of out of place this week. and just maybe not really fully into it. I think we will see better from Insight next week, however.
All right, and then the big game, the replay from the Split 1 Grand Final, Panda versus Tainted Minds. The scoreline was 2-0, but I don't think the game reflects that as such. Like, there was some good moments in those games, and I think from memory is the second game was a lot closer than
Yeah.
for
It was.
Tainted Minds. They just couldn't get off the line. I tell you what I've learned from the game, and tell me if I'm wrong. We all know that I don't know at all regarding Smite, but Tainted Minds have to start doing one thing to help them win, and that's ban Giannis.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, so the first game was done in 28 minutes, 26-3 for Pandemonium. Pretty one-sided. It just took Panda a bit longer than what it should have to close the game. But the second game, Tainted were ahead, like, for the most part, and they were ahead in kills until the very end. But then Pandemonium came back with gold in like 20 minutes. And then it started going back and forth. So, I don't know. It was more entertaining.
Yeah, I think again it comes down to just a lot of roster changes because I know Slicey doesn't do great with a lot of change. Apparently, you give him a build for a god, he will build that in every single situation. So I've been told. You've taken out iDivine out of the solo lane. By this time, he would have had maybe like 30 assists or something. That was him. He was the assist man. Alkiro, he only had 13 after the two games. In the first one, he only had one assist actually. So there wasn't really any of that backbone in that solo lane, and this maybe it was just the lack of time between the CGPL land finals and now. Maybe Pandemonium's just been working harder. Maybe Tainted's been a little bit lackluster. We don't know. We know they were doing a lot of roster changes over the sort of weeks to come up. So who knows? They're maybe not entirely sure at the moment.
And you didn't catch that one either, did you, Danny?
What?
Wow.
She did catch the question.
No. I totally understood what you said.
Do you remember that time we had Biggie on and he dropped out for half of it?
Yeah.
So
I was watching chat.
All that time
watch
he
the
was
game.
out of it, he was putting in more input than you have so far. Come on, Danny. Did you catch it?
Because I did catch a bit of it. Not much. I caught maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. And like, it seemed like it was a decent game, but Pandemonium just has that map control over what Tainted has.
Tainted's teamfight was Tainted's teamfight was better, but the overall objective control from Pandemonium is what won them the game. And right at the end, there was one team fight, and then a fire giant taken by Pandemonium, and then they won off that. Well, Gruff wasn't even there. Gruff was split pushing as Apollo, and then Ro just decided to back and stop him from taking the Phoenix, and 2 minutes later they won. So.
Well, last split, Tainted Minds, their strongest point was their team fight, so at least they still have that going with them, but they just don't. I don't think they quite have the finer communications and the objective control to really compete with Pandemonium. They did bring a bit closer in that second game, as we saw, and hopefully by the time that they verse Pandemonium again, seeing as how each team will verse each other team at least twice, actually twice exactly, throughout this split. Hopefully by then they would have worked out a few of the kinks.
That leads us to Game 3, Avant-Garde versus Llamas, and I was pretty excited about Llamas. So Llamas, they missed out split 1. They did play through the qualifiers and whatnot, and they did miss out, and they stuck to it through Challenger Cup, and I think they finished top in Challenger Cup. They came through and qualified for the OPL. First game in the OPL, and a lot of these players are OPL virgins as well, aren't they? Is that right?
Yeah.
So you've got your
So
mate Whitney. He hasn't played in the OPL, has he?
Yeah,
No,
and then
I think
the only one is Rana. Everyone else
Yeah.
is like Shrooks and Swifty, Tori, and
Yeah,
Erratic.
Those
No,
guys played in the Invitational, didn't he?
Did he? I don't remember.
I
That name
think he
seems
may
familiar.
have.
Erratic did, because he's crazy Hamish, and he was in, I'm not sure which team, but it was Invite League as well. So, yeah, Rana and Erratic. And the other three are the, yep. there
You
you
got
go.
a lot of players who haven't played at that big level in the scene. They come through against Avant, who, you know, we seen last split. Avant took a while to start getting some momentum, but they went 1-1. I thought that was a great score. Now Avant won the first game, and then Llamas came back in a Nvidia style 70-minute match to pull that one back as well in those last few moments. So, Josh, any key points for that match you may have... Well, wait, before we go to you, let's go to Danny, because we know she's reading the chat, probably not listening. Did you catch any of that game, Danny?
No.
No.
How could you not have? His second one was
You
on
were streaming,
pretty
weren't
much
you?
the entire night.
I think I hosted you
I
afterwards.
can't remember what I was doing, but I
That
was
was
busy.
Sunday night. 2 nights
Oh,
ago.
yeah, I wasn't around.
And so, Josh...
I was watching a movie.
What movie?
Which game? Game 1 or 2?
Well, we're talking about movies now. I'm watching The Shawshank Redemption at the moment. That's a good movie. I like it.
I'm sorry, where did this go?
I was watching
It's
Van
a
Helsing.
great movie. Morgan Freeman did a great job in Shawshank.
He did.
Damn.
So, what do you think, Josh? Avant and Llamas, what do you make of game one?
Oh, I don't know. Llamas showed up early game. They were like really, really good, and then Avant were just like, nope. Took a Gold Fury, took a team fight, and then from there they just like 10 minutes later won the game. So it was 19 minutes where they took a Gold Fury, a team fight. 10 minutes later they won the game, and it's like, I don't know. It seemed as though Llamas were flustered and they didn't know what to do whenever they lost that. So they weren't able to come back. Then in the second game they looked more confident. And Swifty even said it. It was because of, he blamed himself and Rana for the first game loss, but then in the second one they did a lot better because he was on Giannis and he felt more comfortable than when he was on Ra. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a huge difference between the Ra and the Giannis between the two games.
Mm.
Like on the Ra he got no kills whatsoever, and then on Giannis he got 9.
yeah, the second game, it was so back and forth. I think both teams made more mistakes than what they should have. It was more of a game of who could make more mistakes
Or
would
less.
lose.
I think, yeah, I
but
do
yeah.
agree with you, but I also think towards the end it was more like who has the confidence to really try and go for it, because there were some opportunities where they could have pushed a little harder, maybe try to get the game out or a little bit faster or end it just there and then, but neither team really wanted to really go too hard for it.
Mm.
I do want to like point out real quick, because I'm Mr. Statsman, or Stats Bitch as Sign is dubbed me. But like so far, the highest average player damage at the top is is Rob Diggity, and after him is Rana Barana, both of the ADCs in that set.
Yeah, but
So
they did have, like
They
you
were
said,
fighting each other.
they did have that second game. I think the VOD is something like 75 minutes. The VOD is, so that would take a part of that as well. That's twice your average game. So if you're going to look at the stats, I think that's equivalent to those two playing 3 games, where the other 4 teams are equivalent to 2 games. So that last game did take a long time. Poor Parathis had to do some solo casting there, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's have a look at this week quickly. There it is. So Panda
Where's the
versus
thingy?
Avant
There it
Garde.
is.
Obviously, I'm
But
gonna go Panda
that one.
2-0 on that one. Danny?
Are you muted?
I feel like he is.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
You can't hear
Oh,
me
I couldn't
or Danny.
couldn't
Yeah.
hear him for part of the intro as well.
Yeah.
I was saying Team Panda versus Avant Garde. Who do you... Oh, I misspelled
Yeah.
that. They're going to be unhappy. I better fix that.
Avant-garde.
Team
Sounds a bit
Panda
more
hands
French.
down. So Avant struggled against Llamas, and if they're struggling against Llamas, who are the brand new team, like I'm not taking anything away, but Llamas have less experience, and Avant struggled against them, then Team Pandemonium will be, I don't know, what's a good word for that? I don't, like the top of the tier, extremely difficult for Avant to even have a chance against, because Team Pandemonium
out of
just
their
looks so
league.
fluid. Yeah, basically. So I'm going
Yeah.
2-0 Team Pandemonium.
You're 2-0 as well, Tim?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with 2-0. Pandemonium at the moment is just leagues above Avant-Garde.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Sorry, Wes. Sorry, Davey. That's what you get. Danny, who's your vote for?
2-0 Pandemonium.
Easy, easy. Then we got Tainted Minds and Insight. I will go. Do you know what? I'm going to put 2 here for Insight, 2-0, because I think they can play better than they did last week, and I think Tainted Minds aren't as good as where they were grand final time last year. So I'm actually going to go 2-0 to Insight on this one. Josh?
Which one? Sorry, Insight Tainted.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Insight will do a lot now with Laney. I don't want to like sound BM or anything, but Kiki on his last series, he knew that it would be his last game ever, so he probably didn't put his whole heart into the match. So that's probably why they didn't do well against Deadweight, and he got caught out a lot of times in that match. So now that they've got arguably a better 80 carry, and though Laney's still trash, Insight will do a bit better. I don't know. Both teams have got a lot of roster changes. I kind of want to go split,
Well,
just to be safe.
Tainted have only got one roster change, which is their jungler or something, isn't it? I wouldn't call that a lot
They
of changes.
changed their jungler and their
Who's that?
soul laner.
Oh yeah, well both teams have like one roster change. But is it beneficial to both of those teams? I don't really know. No, in the case of Insight, because of Laney again. Sorry, Laney.
Mate, Laney's
knew
a
it was
wonderful
coming.
kid. Stop picking on him. Tim, where's your vote?
I'm gonna go for a split, but I think Insight will have a much sort of easier time in that split because, like you mentioned before, Cyanide, both teams they didn't perform their best, but I think they could perform better in the weeks to come, especially as they start to have their normal roster come in. At the moment, I see less issues with Insight's roster in terms of their communication and teamwork. But I just think that Tainted Minds, they've lost a lot of their sort of backbone, and I don't think they can adapt quite as well. I'm saying split, but I would not be surprised if it went 2-0 Insight.
Danny? Tainted
Yeah,
Minds
I
versus
agree with that.
Insight. Where's your vote?
I think I put split. Like,
Yeah, the split.
a bit split between the two.
That's the Saturday night games anyway, from 6 p.m.
I
here.
haven't like I guess seen I haven't seen Insight play yet either, so this is just from what I know from most of them being like Direwolf players. I know they can definitely take this on and be like 2-0, so but I'm not sure. So I just went split.
And then on Sunday night, 6 p.m, we got Llamas taking on Dead Weight. Now this one should be a pretty interesting one. They would have played each other in the Challengers Cup, wouldn't they? Did they have to play against each other to fight
Did
for
Weight
IPL?
Would.
didn't, because they were. Wait, did they?
No,
What was the
Deadweight-
story behind them? They took the space based off of.
Deadweight have had a lot of roster changes since they came from Challenger Cup, I believe, because they used to be Irish Wristwatch.
That's the one. God, that was the name I was looking for.
I'm one of the
Josh?
few people who can actually say that.
Yeah. Like I completely forgot that Irish existed, but yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So did Switch.
Sorry, you were saying?
Who's going to
Tim.
win? I'll
Oh,
put my
I thought
vote
Timmy was
first.
saying.
I'll go. I feel like going to split, but Dead Weight, I feel that they're very arrogant, but they could probably back it up and do 2-0. That's probably the safe one. I'll go 2-0 towards Dead Weight. That's my points.
Easy just said in chat, if Insight don't go 2-0, I'll be surprised. And Prince was just like, if you were already surprised by Insight getting 2-0'd. Yeah, that's... I think that's what confused us all and why it's changing our predictions now to like some splits and stuff. Because sure, Insight are really good, but they like toppled over in that match against Deadweight. For this one, I kind of want to go split as well, because Llamas did really well and they like played together as a team. The only difference is that Deadweight is a lot more aggressive, but also play as a team. So it's kind of like who can execute the mechanics a lot better and who has the better objective control in this particular match.
I don't think it'll take much to get, and this just, I'm not basing this on anything, I need to make that clear. Just, I don't think it'll take much to trigger the players in Deadweight. So I think if you did some early ganks or just some cheesy stuff, I think with just a few conversations with a couple of the players, they'd probably get, I think you'll trigger them pretty easy and that would give you a big advantage. I don't know, they're 100% assumptions, but that's the tactic I would use, just try and get under one or two players' skins.
Yeah.
I somewhat disagree with that, because you look at Deadweight's roster, you've got Shred, Only Goes Solo, Agony, Weave, HS247 as the main lineup. They are all fairly veteran players, I would say. I'd say Llamas and Pajamas are much more of the younger team, so I think their communication will be a little bit more broken, and they will be more susceptible to sort of tilting.
Yeah, but running off to Twitter to ask, High Res Adam for help isn't going to help Swifty and the boys from Labers, is it? So it's a bit different.
Oh god, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Sorry. Here you go.
Oh, you already gave your prediction?
Yeah. I was just gonna say something, but do you have something to add?
I was just gonna say I'm gonna go 2-0 with Deadweight. They did fairly well against Inside. I would say that Inside was a little bit on the back foot that game, so again they'll do better next week. But I just think that Llamas, they are not they take risks when they should, but then there's also times where they just do the complete opposite, where they're fairly passive on the objectives. Deadweight is just all round aggressive, and I think that their bravado is going to be enough to really push out Llamas.
So 2-0 Deadweight too?
Yeah.
Cool.
Devane?
2-0 Deadweight.
2-0 Deadweight?
Are you just...
Are you disagreeing with
Yeah.
everyone? Although I was 1-1, but anyway.
Well, from my experience, my very small experience in like Challengers Cup, we have done well before against Llamas, but never done well against Deadweight.
Hey,
They just always shut us down.
you playing in the
that's
Challenger
my.
Cup, that's a very niche market, playing the Challenger Cup. Only a few people have taken that part. I just want to put that out there.
Yes.
So,
And there's still room for more people to join, hint hint.
There is, but I just want to show off, because what we got some cool stuff. Last split was a bit different because of the event, but we want to do another stream giveaway to reward people watching OCE Smite. So if you have a look at Josh's head, he's wearing a snake hat, and then
It's China. It's dragons. They're not snakes.
all right, looks like a snake from here. And then Timmy's wearing... What are you wearing, Timmy? Stand up. We want to have a look at this jacket.
That's
Is that Norse?
The hat is a Nordic one, and
That's Norse.
It started
and
with
the
N.
jacket is the...
Stand up. We want to
the
see
same
the
one as-
jacket.
I really want one of those jackets. Like, I'm so jealous.
Look at that jacket. And then
So cool.
what are you wearing?
Nah, I don't like
Daddy,
mustard.
you're wearing a pink daffodil or something? What's that?
Fucking definitely.
It looks like
do-
it from here.
That's Hindu.
Hindu?
It's
Alright,
Hindu Pantheon. It was Prinzel's hat.
Was it? The reason I want to point that out, let me just pull up
Yeah.
my graphic, because this is what we've got going on this split
Oh,
here,
you just got muted again?
everyone.
Yeah, I think every time he alt tabs or something, he gets muted.
Who's that?
You.
You do.
Well, I don't think. No, I think what happens is I probably prematurely take my thumb off the push to talk button.
Push to talk.
But this is what we got, guys. If every time you're in here watching the stream, and this starts from tonight, so everyone who's been here from the start of the stream has already started collecting points. For every minute you watch the CGTV_Smite channel, you acquire 1 point per minute, and if you're a subscriber, you get 2 points per minute. What we'll do at the end of the split, we'll take those top 8 people who have been viewing us, as far as the top 8 minutes acquired, and then they'll all go into a draw. And what we're going to do is we're going to give away to the one person the 3 items. It's going to be a Smite snapback cap. It's going to be a Smite varsity jacket like Timmy was wearing, and then also one Smite t-shirt, as we can see there. So that's something we got going. Div Bits won't do it for you in here, Giles. I can
Unfortunately.
I'll link in just a second while Josh tells you how cool these items are.
They're pretty sick. I mean, this hat, I feel like so good. To clarify, it's not 3 winners. It's 1 winner out of the top 8 gets those 3 prizes, correct?
That is correct. We're going to take everyone.
Cool.
And
Oh my god.
I can tell you that Princel's winning at the moment, but he's also a subscriber. Danny, you're up there. Switch must be tuned in. He's up there as well at the moment. But there's a long week, so I'm going to link this in just a second in Twitch chat, so you guys can follow this. You guys, oh sorry, my mic fell away. You guys can follow this as well if you want.
Subs get 2 points per minute. So if you're a sub, you're basically like winning by a long shot.
Well, that's the only reason Princel's up there.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. If you sub, it's only $4.99 per month. Very cheap. You do go into the draw. Well, you get a much better chance at going in the draw to win this. So there's some pretty cool shit right there.
This is through all of Split, right? So the full 10 weeks, and then
Full
at the end
10
of the 10
weeks.
weeks, then it's
Full 10
drawn?
weeks. Yeah, so this has been reset.
Yeah, cool.
I reset this last night. This will run through, and then at the end of the 10 weeks, we'll take those top 8. We'll just we'll shuffle them up, and we'll spit out a winner, and we'll send them some cool stuff. We will.
But if you think about it, it's like 2 months, 2.5 months. So that's what, like $10 US.
It's 60 streams, and that's just the OPL. All right, so that's 60 streams. If you take into account the OCL, that's 120 streams. If you take into the Challenger Cup, that's we're probably close to 200 streams you can tune in the next.
Yeah. So if you're subbed, that's $10 for the entire split in US, and you go in the top 8, then you have $10 to go into the draw, and you've got all this cool content, and then you can win like free stuff. So mathematically, that's like completely worth it. Why would you not do that? Everyone sub like right now. I'm gonna sub right now.
Everyone sub,
Yes, do
and Nightfall will add you to Snapchat. There's some pretty cool shit inside of his Snapchat. Get on it. People still use Snapchat, don't they? That's still a thing. Just checking. Just checking.
Yeah. My Snapchat is like the hottest thing right now.
So that's it. One more time before we move on to the next
look,
topic.
someone subbed.
Hey, Smart Saber.
Yay, Smite hype. I mean, what am I saying?
Kavain, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
meant sub hype. I said like it was Smite Saber, and I said Smite. Done.
All right, so
Smart Saber sub hype. 4 S's.
Let me go.
Like the
I read
worst
his
letter to
name. It
repeat.
confused me.
running alongside the OPL, just wanted to let everyone know is we've got the Oceanic. What's it called? The Oceanic Console. That's it, Console League, and this is actually an official high-res one, just like the OPL. They're giving full support. Obviously, the prize money's not as big, but we've got 6 teams competing in that as well, which we can see here. We got Paragon, we've got Citadel Gaming, and Citadel actually.
I'm excited. I'm pretty excited for this. I don't at the moment know a huge amount about the OCL. I know a little bit about Citadel Gaming. I mean, they won the last split or last season, whichever you want to call it, against. Who was it? It was
Example. It was Example that went down to
Example.
5 1-hour matches. It was those console guys like to
Yeah,
stretch
me-
it out.
That was crazy.
Me and
Apparently,
Parathis actually casted that one.
I was speaking to the admins, and apparently the console guys have got it down. The average game's around 30 minutes now, so that's going to be a lot better. But we've got 8 teams. They all qualified in a similar manner to what the PC guys did in Split 1. They had a fight for your invite the other week. Paragon, Incept, Senix, Tilt, Skyfire, and Citadel Gaming all got in. Citadel Gaming, like we said, they did play last split, come first place. I think through the round robin they went 14-0, didn't drop a single match at all. But Paragon, probably the favourites this time around. I think some roster changes and whatnot. And we are scheduled to stream the Oceanic Console League stuff every... Damn it. It's Monday and Wednesday. It is 6 p.m. So that's when we'll be streaming that. Not this week. They're just a few days behind, but starting from next week we'll get on and we'll do that. And like the OPL, we'll have some skin codes and all sorts of cool stuff to give out through the stream. So that's something.
So yeah, pretty exciting. Basically, a console version of the OPL. 2 days a week, 6 professional teams.
That's
Go
it.
for it.
That's it. Like I said, their prize money, I think they're fighting for $2,500. But last split, I think the top team won $300. So this time it's about $1,300. So that's a big improvement for them as well. So doing what we can to develop not just the PC side, but also our friends over on console. So that is the OCL. Keep an eye out from that. Also streams here. And who's doing that? That's you, Nightfall. We've got some Timmy. I know
Yeah.
Parathis is very excited.
Parathis keen.
He's a console fanboy. All right.
Mhm.
And then there might be some new faces in that as well. So here we go. Something in which Danny can actually get involved and start talking about. What we want to do is we wanted to have
I'm required.
we wanted to have a public discussion about these next 2 things. We've seen some things on Facebook. We've seen, I know Dan's gone out and put out a survey. We had Gruff put something up on Reddit last week. And this is talking about, first of all, the Challenger Cup. And we want to just have an open discussion. We got, obviously, are you playing the Challenger Cup this split, Danny?
No,
No,
I found that I don't have the time.
or the skill. I've seen you play a lot of Arena.
Yeah,
Just kind of
yeah,
put that
sure.
out there. It's all right. Neither does Tim. That's why he casts.
You found our secret.
Yeah. So we want to talk about ways in which we can improve the attractiveness of the Challenger Cup. I think last split we averaged 10 teams. We did. Week 1 it was like 15 teams. Week 2 was 16. Then it went down to 7. And then it just sort of fizzled away from there. But that week 3, of course, was Easter. The week after is 8 teams. And then the final week, it was only 7 teams. And I care that much, I remember all that. This split at the moment, we've taken on a lot of what people have said and spoken about. A lot of people want more flexibility. They don't want to go in, play one game, suck like Team Yandigaya and then out the whole day. So they want a bit more flexibility and all that. So what we've done, we've said, all right, we tried out the Swiss stuff the other week, and I think that may have worked, but there was some inherent problems with that as well. You need a minimum of 8 teams, yet last split we seen there was less than 8 teams for 2 out of the 5 weeks, so that would have to flip over to something like double elimination. So we've got the open ladder, but currently it's been open all week, and we've only got 4 usable teams. We've only got 4 teams with enough players to actually play. So we want to talk about, what's your opinion on that, first and foremost, playing in the Challenger Cup last season, Danny? Why did you play? Why did you play? Why aren't you playing this time? I know you said time, but there must be, an hour a week. You stream bloody over an hour a night.
Just a little often. Okay, well, first of all, it being on Sunday was a major issue for me. But like I know that was like a meat issue. My family likes to have like lunch every Sunday, so me taking away like it's not it's an hour game, but you have all the preparation you need to do, and then like if you win that game, it's even longer, and it's just like my family wasn't happy that I was giving away my Sundays to video games. But I ended up coming to like some kind of I guess compromise, and then they're okay with it. But then it turned into a thing of where I would have to scrim, you know, during the week. And so I would do like each night I would have like half a night of stream and then half a night of scrims. But I never had the time to like practice enough, and I'm a slow learner. So the moment like Golden Bow came round, like
Oh
I
god,
just
Golden Bow.
dropped. I just dropped because I was like a transcendence hunter, like ability hunter, and then just like I couldn't adapt fast enough. So it was mostly time.
And we
So
want to hear.
I wasn't happy.
Just want to hear from the people in chat as well. So we've got 50 viewers at the moment, so that's essentially 10 teams. Now, of course, we've got players like Overwatch Giles in there. We've got Prensel, who I don't even know what he's doing anymore. So there's some players who are just completely ineligible, of course, to play in the Challenger Cup. But, you know, this conversation, guys, we want you guys in chat to jump in and have your opinions as well. So where do you see the issue primarily lying, Josh?
Well, I'm seeing something that Duke Boy says, going pro takes effort. It's not something that people just do, and that's fair. But the problem that we're seeing is that there was all these teams that were going to do it. That, like Challenger Cup, we had 15 teams at one point, and now it's 4. So what happened to all those people? They didn't. I mean, it's fair to say that people busy and stuff, and they have other wants, and you know, and balancing it is difficult. But that's a fair amount of teams that just disappear. So I don't know.
I missed.
It's confusing.
Okay, so we got Duke Boy saying he stopped because he sucked. Well, that doesn't stop Husey from casting week in, week out. And for me, that's an important thing to remember. If you're playing Smite and you enjoy playing Smite, use the Challenger Cup, in my view, as a place to play the game against essentially better ranked than what you get in game. I know that's something Switchbase said. Irish Wristwatch sort of used the Challenger Cup for last split, is that they were sick of in game, so they thought they'd play some rank and just some better matched games using the Challenger Cup. I don't think it matters if you have plans to be in the OPL. I don't think if you have an error week, I don't think you need to practice. You don't need to try that hard. If you like a bit of conquest and like to play against like-minded people, that's cool as well in the Challenger Cup. You don't have to have ambitions to play in the OPL, I don't think. Tim, what's your views?
I think it's really just people a little bit more intimidated than what they should be. You don't have to be superstar Diamond 2 Conquest to play in Challenger Cup. You can just get a bunch of friends and just play, or even just contact the team. There's a couple of teams right now that are looking for players. Just shoot someone a message, say, hey, you know, I played this role. Can I have a go? Like, with what Switch did with Irish Wristwatch, I think was a perfectly legitimate motive. Just going there, play some games, better than what natural matchmaking can actually give you. That's for sure. And if you don't want to go pro, then the people who do want to go pro, they'll have more drive. They will filter up towards the top, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's just each week you go in, you play some games, you have some fun, and hey, you can win some gems at the end of it. So
No gems.
take that, high res.
Admins are taking the
No
gems
gems?
to buy AMC skins with now. That's fact.
But
I didn't feel like-
either way, I think
Well,
people are
Tim,
just intimidated.
Wait, before it goes away, and we lose the opinion forever. Daddy, you were about to say something. We got to.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's necessarily the reward. I feel like it's the culture. Like, if people were just like a little bit more competitive and communicated with each other a bit more.
I think people give up
It's gonna be better.
like too
I think
easily.
that's what it is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think people are
They
taking it too
lose and they're like, "Fuck,
seriously.
can't do it."
They want to be in the OPL. They didn't get to be in the OPL. Oh well, no point.
Yeah, like it takes a grind. It's not something that happens overnight, and you got to lose over and over and over again to eventually win. And it's better to lose because then you get better by losing and seeing how the people who are beating you do it, and then you do what they do, and then you win. It's like,
How's that
why
been
are you
working out for
stopping
you, Josh?
me? Not so well.
I think people just need to get in, and the offset to that, and we'll sort of start blending this now, is if there's no people playing in the Challenger Cup, whether it's just for a bit of fun, a fuck around, or if they actually have a bit of ambition to potentially play in the OPL. If we don't have people playing in the Challenger Cup, what effect may or may not that have on the OPL? That's the big question right there. And I've openly said, listen, we've talked about this a bit behind the scenes with the admins and everything. And I don't want this to come or to get twisted, but my basis of the OPL is fuck the OPL. The OPL is just going to be fine. I think it's safe to say we're probably always going to find 6 or 8 teams to play in the OPL. But the scene just isn't going to grow if you don't have that grassroots. And everything I like to think about and focus on is purely that grassroots. If we can turn that Challenger Cup, no matter how we run it, if we can turn it in from 10 teams into 30 teams, no one can tell me at all that is not going to filter through, and you're not going to have better OPL teams, you're not going to have better and a healthier competition for the Challenger Cup. You're going to, aren't you? It's impossible to not. I mean, it's something that have to go pretty wrong to not have that improvement filter upwards. But having 6 places or 8 places in the OPL, I don't think that's going to encourage people to play in the Challenger Cup. I don't. What do you think on that, Josh?
I don't know. If you make the OPL bigger, then the CC dies.
Yeah.
Just like straight up. Sure, it's oh my god, we've got more of a chance to get into OPL, right? And then the OPL plays, and then everything's around the OPL. What happens to the CC? The people in there are like, oh, it's the last split. Oh no, there's no Challenger Cup in the last split, is it? I don't think so. That's a big point.
Well, there has to be, because there'll always be Challenger Cup. You're going to have a Challenger Cup. What, you're just going to take the same OPL teams from Split 2, Split 3 into 2017 Split 1? No, you're still going to have a relegation.
Yeah. I don't know how that's the moment, but yeah. I don't know, people seem to want the benefits without having to put in the hard yards. And if we put in OPL to 8 teams, then those lower teams, like we've seen in the past, just tend to either disband right away, or we want to disband, we force them to stay together, and then they disband as soon as the thing ends, and then they lose like all sort of I had a point and I lost it. Fuck. Am I lit? I don't know, Husey, are you lit? Because you say that 8 teams in the OPL is beneficial, right? But
Whoa.
like Steve constantly says,
whoa, you can't go put words in Hughesy's mouth and make those claims.
no, but he does.
Wait for him to say it, even though he's a fanboy of stupid ideas.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Because he can't talk to me right now, so we can give him a hard time. So let Hughesy speak for himself, of course. But some people, I would say, some people are definitely in favour of 8 teams in the OPL. And I just look at it. If we had 8 teams in the OPL this split, there would be 2 Challenger Cup teams.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the argument that there'll be more of a CC because there's more reward for those who do well and get into OPL because there's more spaces, right? But how is that valid, right? We've got 4 teams right now. What is that? Open it to 8, you got less teams. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's not like going from 6 to 8 is a critical threshold where all of a sudden the gates burst open and everyone jumps into CC. If you want to get into OPL, you go through CC first, and if you really want to, you have the drive for it. What was that saying? Like we were talking before, how people, they sort of get beaten, they give up. It's not about how hard you hit; it's about how many times you can get hit and still keep going.
There you go. Yeah,
What movie
exactly.
was that from?
Well, I don't know. It sounds
Rocky.
stupid to me. It sounds like a case of
Wow,
stupid.
Rocky quote is stupid, right? Yeah.
Rocky. Yeah.
What if, so I was happy that you're on tonight, Danny, because you play a lot of arena, don't you? Too much.
No,
arena.
I play other games too.
But mostly
I
arena.
play like 2 weeks. No! I play mostly Conquest.
Do you?
I do.
I always see you in arena.
Surprise. You're coming in the wrong time.
I only come in for 2 minutes and I'm gone again. Would you be interested?
Yeah.
How much do you know? Because you probably interact with non-competitive people more than others in here. Would there be interest in, and from the chat as well, would there be interest in tournaments which aren't Conquest? Would that be arena? Do you guys play different game types and would like that?
I don't think that many people plays arena. I don't know. I don't play that much arena now.
Even Joust non 1v1, because 1v1's sort of dead.
See, Joust, I think people can get onto. Like the Silly Gav clan does a lot of Joust tournaments and stuff on their own.
Are they 1v1, 3v3? What are they?
3v3,
Yeah.
I think.
3v3. They did a 2v2 tournament as well.
Because I'd like to see some consistent stuff. Because some of my plan is if we can do stuff which aims more towards the more casual person, whether there's Joust or you have Siege and all of this stuff. If we did some stuff, maybe that's a way to communicate with these players that you can. There's these paths to better off your game through the Challenger Cup and whatnot. You argue? You argue with Husey in chat.
Yeah.
I think that there would be some demographic that would be playing arena, but I don't think it would be any huge number. You'd probably get maybe 5 or 6 teams at the most.
I know, like last year, there was more of like a competitive arena space. Like there were, clans that would exclusively play like 5-man, and that would 5-man stack arena, and you would just get wrecked. And I would just be like, God damn.
Yeah.
Find a competitive arena.
I noticed as the OPL last year and last split as well started to carry on throughout the weeks, more and more people started to move over towards Conquest. Maybe that's because they've been a bit more interested. Maybe it's just a shift in migration. But at the moment, not a lot of people play Conquest as what Arena does. I know someone said Riz said 3v3 Joust and Arena are the most popular game modes on PS4 at the moment. Yes, it's a different console, it's a different platform, but you can still look at that, sort of, in the same regard. People just like to play Joust and Arena.
What are the benefits of having 8 teams in the OPL? That's what I want to know.
The only benefit that I really see, because I agree with Josh, I think if you drag more people up from the Challenger Cup, one, they're not going to be on the same level as the rest of the teams, and you're also going to start to starve out Challenger Cup. The only benefit I see is that we will actually have 2 sets on a Sunday night instead of 1, which makes more sense.
So the lower tier teams will get better, but that's only 2 teams out of the entire CC, right? That get put in those 2 slots. So if they do stay together, which I highly doubt they would, those bottom 2 teams will get better, right? Does that mean that then gets better? Or does that mean that those 2 teams get better, they stay in the OPL, we make the next split OPL 8 teams as well, but then the CC teams don't get better at all? because it's then 8 teams. So it's just, it's the circle of OPL teams are good, CC teams hardly get up, except in the case of Llamas,
Using that
which
logic
is
then,
cool.
and just taking it to the following extreme,
Hmm.
then would not 10 teams in the OPL make just as much sense? Let's just take, right now with teams, let's take the 4 competing teams in Challenger Cup right now. Let's put them in the OPL because they're going to get better, are they not, playing against better teams? And they've got
Yeah.
something to win, and scrap the whole Challenger Cup, and then once every 3 months, it's just a simple fight for your invite. Would 10 teams in the OPL not make all those good things 8 teams does, but more of it? Isn't
That's
that
a very
is
hard.
that the same logic?
Wouldn't that just be too much?
Or
It's the same
Yeah,
logic.
that's
Yeah.
a little bit overboard, I think,
well,
because the
based on what?
difference
How many
between
teams are in the SPL?
Sorry?
In the what?
How many teams are in the SPL? Is it 8?
6.
No, I'm pretty sure it's
Oh
8.
wait, yeah, no, 8. Sorry,
Come on,
yeah.
Josh.
8 per
And
region.
what about in the
Yeah. Or
European
is it 8
one?
altogether?
That's 8 as well?
Wait, which region? Sorry.
Europe.
Yeah, that's the same. That's 8 as well.
But that's my aim. And if all the reasons I've heard for 8 teams in the OPL, 10 teams would increase those benefits even more. Would they not?
I just think, like right now, you take, say, the top 3 teams in OPL and sort of spread it out across the board. The teams that you're going to throw in from the CC, they're just going to get eaten alive, really. If the competition was closer, then yes, I could see that logic being a little bit more, making more sense.
Well, I'm
but it
using
also
the logic
contradicts
Josh
itself.
put forward is that if they're playing against better teams in the OPL, they're going to improve themselves.
No, that
I
was
think-
the logic from people supporting the 8 teams.
Well, I can't talk for
That's
anyone.
not my logic.
No, I'm not talking for anyone who's not in here. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think
Fair enough.
in order to have 8 teams with that logic, you would have to have a higher amount of Challenger Cup teams, to sort of, fight for themselves behind and give the bottom teams in the OPL a reason to keep on fighting. Because if you chuck everyone in the OPL, the bottom teams, they're just gonna, if their spirits get broken, they're gonna lose each game, then they're just gonna meander around like, oh, okay, we're still OPL, there's no Challenger Cup.
But they get the
underneath us
they
that we
still
have to
get
worry about.
they still get the prestige of beating the OPL, and they get the.
But do they
get a
earn
bit
it?
of- Of course they do. I don't think
Do they?
because if you open it up to 10 teams, whoever makes that 10 spot fucking earns it, didn't they? Even if there was no one else competing, I earned it because I didn't have to play anyone because there is no Challenger Cup team. Fuck it, you earned it. I don't think you can say you didn't earn it, can you?
I don't think they, at the present moment, if you took all the Challenger Cup teams and said you're all now pro players, that's basically saying that anyone who was ballsy enough to sign up for Challenger Cup, which is not a very ballsy move in my opinion. Now all of a sudden you're professional players, you're guaranteed to get some sort of payment, you've got all this recognition, and all you had to do is be a name, type in your details onto a website. I don't think that they would have earned it that way.
I'll say this: if we get an average of 12 to 16, well, close to if we have 16 teams in the Challenger Cup within the next 2 weeks, and then if at the end of the OPL and Challenger Cup there's still 16 teams, I myself have no problem supporting and backing an 8-team OPL because we've got the depth. Right now,
I would agree with that as well.
Over the last split, I haven't seen the depth and stability in the in the grassroots. If we had the depth and the stability in the grassroots, of course I support 8-team OPL because I think those benefits some people may or may not talk about do have merit, but not when you've got a Challenger Cup who can't sustain themselves. Like I said, 4 teams. No one's excited.
I think a lot of people blame high-res. Like, if you look at the Reddit thread that Gruff put up the other day, a lot of people are saying high-res need to advertise Smite in a better light than
You know
a
what?
lot of money for the split. Like the
Whoever-
money is fantastic, but
Whoever knocks high res, you know, fuck them. That's the easiest way to put it. Whoever says high res don't do enough for this region, are just absolute idiots. That's it in a nutshell. High res do more for this region than players do for this region. And I've said this a couple of times. The high res in 18 months have given us 2 LAN finals. They've put in $165,000. They've given up for grabs 2 Smite World Champion spots. We've had Adonis join us for the All-Stars game. We've had FDOT on the Smite Show. Hi-Res retweet. Hi-Res give us a ton of skins. They host us every single week. What more does Hi-Res have to do? Do they have to stand behind you, fucking treat you like a puppet and get you playing the game? So people who say Hi-Res don't do enough for the scene are fucking idiots. Go have a look, seriously, at any other game in the region who the developers, Dota, Valve does nothing. CSGO, Valve does nothing. Blizzard have only recently started showing a little bit of support. They had Heroes of the Storm competition a few months ago. That was only $20,000 and a trip overseas. StarCraft 2, Blizzard do very, very little with it. Hearthstone, pretty much nothing. I think we had the ANZ Championships either the end of last year or start of this year for it with fuck all cash. So for people who say high-res do nothing, these guys are absolute idiots, and they should go and experience other titles and other games before they make just outlandish comments. It's ridiculous.
I will say that Hi-Res do show a huge amount of appreciation support to the people who are in the scene already. I think that I have the only advertising I've seen outside of Smite itself of Smite is sort of, those very low budget banner ads you see on websites where you're afraid to click on them because you might get a virus, or through people making videos. Whereas you go on I go on Twitch each day, and I always get a League of Legends ad. Every single time, it's League of Legends or it's Overwatch. Like, they are doing a huge amount for our scene. I will never deny that. So it's a huge amount of effort they put in. But I think they need to focus a little bit more on the people who have not yet heard of Smites.
But that's two different things. What you're doing there, I just want to, like Giles said...
it is two different things.
Giles just said COD has the COD World League. Do you know what? For sure. Before this year, they didn't. Before this year, you had once a year, you had the Activision $1 Million tournament, all right, hosted by MLG or some shit, which was only happening for a couple of years. Before that, nothing. And COD's been out since, 2003? And let's be honest, it is the same regurgitated shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for saying your name wrong, champ, but Osaka, is that right? You say they don't need to do anything because they're actually big, solid games, referring to these other titles. Do you know what? Using that same logic, Smite doesn't have to do anything, because how many players does Smite have globally, roughly?
20 million registered.
20 million registered players. All right.
How many of those are Smurfs, though?
Yeah, but no, that's irrelevant. 2 years ago, Smite League of Legends had something like 50 million. All right. So it's still a big game. Using that same logic, Smite doesn't have to do anything because 20 million registered accounts. That's what a AAA title right there, isn't it? So I think Hi-Res do enough for our scene. And how much do you want Hi-Res to put in for 10 teams? Currently, we have 10 teams competing on a competitive level. What else do you expect Hi-Res to invest for 10 teams? That's the question. You give Hi-Res 50 teams, 60 teams, and they'll keep. We can demand more. They'll see that the scene wants more, and they'll give more. But how much effort should they really put in for 10 teams, Danny?
Sorry, what was the question? Juby is talking about that. I missed that question.
Right,
I was listening the whole time.
I threw you in there. I'm saying for 10 teams, people who say Hi-Res should do more, right as of right now today, we have 10 competitive teams in the whole Oceanic region, and people say that Hi-Res need to do more. Do you think Hi-Res should really put in a lot more?
I think Hi-Res is putting enough effort. Like, the scene is so small. Everyone knows everybody. Like,
That's a
yeah.
problem, because then
It
it
is
just
a
shows that
problem.
the
That's
growth isn't
my
there.
issue. Although lately, I'm very confused lately because it's like, say you go into a game, I've been either getting really low like level people you've never seen before,
Sorry.
and then very low level, or you get people that are insanely good, level 30, you've never seen them before.
Someone just said
Very
something
weird
in the
Yeah.
demographic.
chat, something regarding DreamHack. I just want to find out. I think people lost interest when they weren't nothing about DreamHack. That's a stupid comment too. Can you see who said that, Josh? The reason that's a stupid comment.
What is it?
'cause-
DreamHack.
Yeah, because DreamHack would affect the top.
Prensel.
Prensel, you're an idiot. Yeah, you did. I can see it. Everyone stopped caring when they said OCE wasn't going to DreamHack. That's just a retarded
Yeah.
thing to say because the top 4 teams in the OPL, whoever they may or may not be, would have a direct effect with DreamHack, not the rest of the scene. Please. Our bloody relationship's deteriorating. Oh, that's all right then. Better be
I think
joking. I thought you were smart, Prensel. You'd try and troll me with shit like that.
like as someone who gets around a lot, not
Oh, really?
like not in that way. Like get around the scene. That makes more sense.
Yeah, really?
Like, I see on almost every Reddit someone's complaining about some sort of bug or this god or this so
Well,
and
that's in every
so.
game.
It's
Well,
like,
of course,
it's like
but
when
like
you,
seems a bit excessive for Smite. But the thing is that the people who play the game and love it seem to just play the game, right? They don't like. I don't want to like generalize too much, but a lot of people don't say, "Man, have you checked out this game, Smite?" Well, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna stop right
well,
there.
I
I'm gonna go to the Reddit and I'm going to get an example.
It's like
Sorry,
when you
continue.
have kids, Josh. All right. Now
Yeah.
you have a choice. You can like your kids or dislike them. The general consensus is, as a parent, you should love your kids. It doesn't matter if they got 1 foot, 6 centimeters shorter than the other, bright orange hair, freckles, buck teeth, all right, and a lazy eye. You're still going to love them, and you enjoy
Mhm.
spending time with them, all right. And that's the same as Smite. Smite's got some inherent flaws, and it's got some broken shit with it. But at the end of the day, you get on, you play, you enjoy it, you play with your mates, and that's what makes it great. Not as defects. We all know it's got defects. Why would we even talk about it? Look at the other night we tried to stream and everyone got kicked off the server and everything else. It's like, hashtag just Smite things. Shit happens. Let's see what happens. That's what you do.
I think that's what people get tilted over so much is the stability of the servers, and then that's what make them go, oh, this game's kind of, not good because they can't get the basic make the game playable, like sorted. And that's why, like, it's a meme that Smite is still in beta. Like, if that's a meme, then something's concern. Like that is a concern.
Why
To be
we?
fair, like 95% of the time when I've played, I've had 50 ping and no issues, really. Like, other people disconnect, I don't know what the fuck's going on with their computer. They could be rage quitting, they could have, their mum yelling at them because
True.
they're late for dinner and they pull out the internet plug. But I haven't really had, a day where... Rather, I haven't really had a long, extended period of time where the servers have just been absolute horseshit.
Really?
I've been able to get onto Smite, play some games. Matchmaking's a bitch because I blame population.
Yeah, everyone
But-
blames that because yeah.
The servers themselves, yes, they have hiccups. Every server has hiccups. Smite is not perfect. It is a young game, as we have mentioned, and there's not a single game which is completely free of issues.
I don't.
Well, of course, but
just while we're talking about this, I want to start with the guys in chat. If you guys have got any questions, maybe 1 or 2 for Devane, wake her up. All right. If you guys have got any questions, start asking them now. We'll get to them in a second while we finish off this topic, which is Smite has
And
bad
I agree
servers.
with Timmy on the server thing as well. Like,
You don't
I
have
feel
any problems?
people who are complaining about servers. No, I don't. It's like if I'm having a lag, it's because I'm streaming and my streaming like somehow stopped it up and I'm lagging all of a sudden. But like,
So the servers go down for a patch. Like arguably that it sucks a lot because it's during our prime time. Everyone uses that, right? And then the servers come back, and then they shut down again for no apparent reason. Everyone gets kicked out of a game. On the weekend, OPL players were kicked from their game. We lost the match ID. On
That was, I
Thursday,
believe
there
they
was
were getting
downtime
wasn't that
again.
DDoSing though?
No.
So, yeah,
Where did the
The
DDoS
servers
come
were
from?
DDoSed on the weekend.
that's the general consensus.
Really? Well, there's an even bigger problem.
Well, no, it's
It
not.
is a big problem.
Look, how many times has Sony been hacked and people's credit card details taken? So if someone wants
That's
to
true.
get in, someone wants to get in. If everyone in the world started DDoSing whoever, the protection isn't going to save them. So sometimes I think you've got bugs, but bugs should be fixed and worked on. Then you have sometimes where you have scheduled updates which don't go quite to plan. That falls into shit happens. And fair enough, I've only played like maybe 15 games of Smite, but I haven't had a single issue. So I've got a 100% success rate with Smite, just like I do AMC. What type of problems outside of those specific areas do you actually have problems with, Josh?
With what specific area, sorry?
Well, outside
With
of the
server
updates,
stability.
all right, outside of the updates and random potential DDoS attacks, when do you, I mean, you're making it sound like every time you get on, you're going to have an 80% chance that you're going to get kicked or there's going to be a server issue.
Well, not particularly server issue. Just an issue that makes me then not want to pick. Because I haven't played a game of Smite in a week since Overwatch came out. Like, this is it. We'll keep it to a Smite thing. There just seems to be so many problems that make Smite not fun anymore. So the server stability one is a point. Then there's matchmaking, but that's population, right? That's that issue.
Majority population, yeah.
Yeah. Then there's the kind of God balance. Like I can deal with a Susanoo, but it
At
seems
the
like
moment,
all of
gods
us
are pretty
like,
well
cannot.
balanced.
It doesn't
I
seem
feel like,
like that when
except
you
for
read through
Susanoo.
things. Yeah, see, everyone's
Everything
like, oh,
else
it's
is pretty
Susanoo or it's Ratatoska and his numbers are stupid. You look at Twitter and like even the math geeks are like, what the hell were they thinking with Ratatoska? And it happens so often that it's like, why is there this one powerhouse that you either have to ban? See, look, top post on Reddit says Ratatoska. I'm gonna click it.
Have you ever considered
Yeah.
it? And
It's cute.
I'm purely throwing this out there, okay? And have you ever considered that that's a core business decision? Let's bring out this god. I know Ratatoska's been out for a while, but let's buff this guy, make him a little bit broken. All the noobs and the casuals will jump on, buy him, play him, and then they balance him and then buff someone else and make him fucking broken so that people go out and buy them. Not everyone has the god pack. People still buy gods in game. Maybe
That's a good point.
Maybe that's because with balancing and my experience in Smite and that is limited, but League of Legends did some fucked up stuff. Every time they released a new god, it was so broken, and you think either they have the worst quality assurance department ever, or they do it on purpose. It's logical they do it on purpose and they buff things to be broken. These guys develop the game. They just can't fail hard in over buffing this god or that god, can they? I think it has to be a conscious thing to do. They can run the numbers. They can simulate the numbers and the effect it will have. So for someone to buff something and then it come out and be broken, I think very rarely would it be something they've overlooked, and it's probably more of a business decision. That's my assumption.
So if it is, the thing that they have to sacrifice is people complaining and people being unhappy with the state of the game and then stopping playing the game because of how repetitive these things happen, especially in Smite. Like you see
But it
everyone
happens
complaining
everywhere.
about, oh, release Bellona, oh, release Kepri, oh, Ravana. Like,
Show me a game which doesn't, all right, have the community bitching about balance. Show me a game.
Yeah,
I'll give you 10
and also,
minutes. We'll start getting ready for these questions and answers before the
I
end of
kind of
that.
want to say
Josh
Overwatch.
is going to give me an actual real game, all right? Not fucking Pac-Man on the Atari 2600 or Granny's Garden, all right? A real game here, Josh, which has no complaints about balance. Show me one. Off you go, Timmy.
The thing I was also going to say is, you don't go into the game, there's like a release, not release Robin, it was crap, a release Bologna or Capri or Ratosca, you go, this is bullshit, this first game of the day, someone's played Ratosca, I'm leaving, see ya, I'm logging out. No, next game you go on and you play Ratosca, because that shit's fucking dumb and you want to experience that ludicrous nonsense for yourself and have some fun.
We'll go play ranked where you can ban them. You ban out the ones you don't like.
There you go, exactly. Well, whose fault is that, really? We're all at fault.
We're all at fault.
You've got to assume that if more people play ranked, it would be easy to get to. I've been watching some of Rob Diggity's streams, who started streaming in the last week or so, and some of his rank queues are pretty broke, and he does wait a while. But if more people play it, those queues are going to come down, aren't they? It's just logic.
Yeah. At the end, people who complain about rank queues, we're all at fault, because who could be playing ranked instead of casual right now?
Everyone.
Exactly.
Who's level 30.
And
has 16 mastered gods.
And who has any idea about Conquest.
Wait, so you need to be level 30 and have 16 mastered gods?
Yes.
How do you master a god?
That is...
By playing it
most
in
people,
casual games.
Bloody hell. So it takes like a year to get to a stage where you can play ranked.
No, because you can master a god within like 10 games.
Abs Pro Josh
Not
wants
even.
to add you to Snapchat. He wants to get nasty.
Yeah, he's been doing that since you mentioned Snapchat. I already did. It's like Nightfall with a 4. Let me check to see if
Question
it's
for
spelled correctly. It might be a 1.
There's a new stream team you can tell us about. Yes. What is this rumor we've heard about stream teams and Smite?
Stream team I made on Twitch. Okay, so the story is, I always get like a lot of questions in my chat about like, who else is an OC who streams and everything like that, and I'll be like,
we need to get
I don't know anymore. Like I can only name like 3 at the top of my head. Nightfall.
See, it's
And then,
Nightfall.
like-
There we go.
That's
Sorry,
very
continue.
blurry.
Oh well.
So I realized last year we had a thing called it was Smite OC channel, where we would have like a bunch of streamers and we would stream this channel every once. I don't know, we would have a schedule that we were meant to fill out, and we were meant to stream like pretty much the whole week on this channel, which no one really stuck to, because everyone had their own lives, they had their own commitments, they didn't want to stream on like a channel that's not theirs because that's not really helping themselves out. So I realized that I wanted this, I guess, us to be more prominent on Twitch. I want people to start streaming on Twitch more often. I also, like, I mentioned this to Nightfall last year. I was like, oh, we should totally get a, like, Twitch team. But at the point, we didn't have any, I guess, partnered streams or partnered channels that could make one. So finally, I was like, oh, wait, I can make one. So I don't know, I guess I just took it on myself to, like, make a Twitch team so that we can find all, I guess, the streamers in the region, and we could all, I guess, like, you'll be like, oh, who do I want to support that's in the OC region? And you go to this page, and you got the whole list there.
What is that page, Danny?
Yeah. You just linked it right there in chat. It's like
I'm just seeing if you can remember it.
twitch.tv/team/SmiteOC.
Does this go on YouTube, Steve?
What?
This VOD? Is there a VOD of this?
Yeah, everyone's going
Just
to
in
have
case.
Snapchat. Get ready for some nasty shit.
Oh no, I just
It's
so that
blurry,
we
it's
should
okay.
read out or put in the description that it's twitch.tv/team/SmiteOC.
And that's where
Yeah.
I go now. I go there after our streams and find someone to host. The other night, no one was Saturday. I think it was. No one was.
Yeah, it's
Saturday
still a
night.
little slow. But I've been seeing a couple of other people that has started streaming. Like you said, Rob Diggity started streaming. Gruff Dogger has been streaming a bit more. Swifty apparently was streaming this afternoon. Hughesy started
Oh
streaming.
wow!
So,
I missed it.
like, yeah, I guess there's gonna be. I think everyone has their own schedules. It's just
I was
don't-
interested to find that there was actually more than 2 people who streamed Smite in the region. That's what I was surprised about. You're up to your second page. I think there was 4 on the second page the other day when I checked. So it's growing nicely. That's a good place to go. And I believe as well, because it's a team, there's actually a button which says follow all or something. You can follow everyone at once.
Is there?
Really?
Are
Damn
you
it,
sure? Because
now I'm
I've
gonna
been
have to
wondering
back
if
it
that
up.
was a thing.
That would
I
be so
haven't
cool.
I haven't seen that as a thing, and I wish that was a thing.
It's a
Be
thing,
nice
I
to
promise.
have.
So if
Okay.
you go... damn it.
Oh, Piers
I
is
just added
listening
Mr.
to Avril
Husey to the
Lavigne right
team.
now.
What?
Everyone should watch
Um,
Demiza. He's listening to Avril Lavigne.
I'm pretty sure it used to be a thing.
I would like it to be a thing, but I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure it used
At the
to be.
moment,
Who
what
knows?
it offers, what it gives you is like if you have like say Devane21 streaming Smite on Smite OC. That's what you get on your page, and then you can access, I guess, OC streams from this page. I know like around about this time, I've noticed a lot of the streams, like there's not a lot of people streaming at this time, it's like because it's not NA peak time, and a lot of them at the moment are Russian streams. So now I'm getting people in chat going, oh my god, it's someone speaking English. So yeah, it would be nice to get a couple more people streaming it around at this time.
Yeah, Australia is in a little bit of a spot when it comes to sort of those.
Yeah,
big
it's hard to
times.
grow a bit in terms of Twitch.
And considering, like, you look on Twitch, Smite is fairly low down on the viewer base. And you up the top, you got League of Legends, Dota, CS:GO, all that. I know last year Smite was so far down. There's all these obscure games that I thought no one would even be bothered
Like
watching.
Microsoft
It will be
Minesweeper.
one person probably streaming that game.
Yeah, that had higher views than Smite. Yes, we have
Yeah.
grown, and we just need to continue to grow. But for Australia, we are in a little bit of a black spot.
Just quickly, I've got a question here about PS4 competitive scene. Yeah, we're keen. We're keen. We want to run some stuff. We got plans to run some stuff with CG, some tournaments and all of that. I really want to be able to get some codes, but apparently the PlayStation 4 barely works with codes, and I don't think there is any skin codes or anything for it at the moment. But within by the end of this split, you'll definitely see some PlayStation 4 stuff come up, and just Abs Pro. Got no idea about packs. I've always said, and I'll maintain it, it's my personal opinion, I doubt Smite will be at PAX this year. That's not based on any information. Don't think I know anything that you guys know. I don't. I know nothing.
I heard there was going to be cross-console between Xbox and PS4
That may have been my assumption.
sometime later in the year.
Well,
Oh, that's good.
I hope there
I'd
is,
hope so.
because Hi-Res renamed it from the Xbox Pro League or whatever it was last year to the Console League. They changed it. So to me, that would tell me that they would want to be developing cross-platform. And I did ask Dan last week or the week before about that, and he says, as far as he knows, there's no current plans. But I think I don't think it's complicated. It might just be a licensing thing. I think Microsoft make it hard themselves. The ability to do it is pretty simple, and everything else.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft just complicate it.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I
haven't looked into it or anything like that, but I'd love to see. I think if we could have a cross-platform console league, that could be anything at the moment. Could be bigger than Challenger Cup and whatnot. But I think because there seems to be a lot of interest in both Xbox and PlayStation for Smite, and I think that's because it's a totally different game to what they've generally had. So
Yeah. Someone on Twitter from Hi-Res said something about it. They said they wouldn't ever do from console to PC, but from PS4 to
when I talk
Xbox is viable.
I'm just talking the consoles. It's no point going full
PC.
It's like who is that in Tropic Thunder, never go full retard, never go full cross-platform. You know?
Oh, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
when he was playing the black guy.
Yeah.
That was
So I think that
never go
works.
full retard.
I'm aware that heaps of opinions.
Can we?
No one knows about Jing Wang. All I know is I had to add it to the overlays and I had to click on her. No one cares about Jing Wei. She's Chinese, isn't she? She wears a
Yes.
short skirt
Yep.
and she throws shit. That's all we need to know about Jing
She uses a
Wei.
crossbow
Crossbow?
and she flies.
Sorry, shit.
Well, that's
The
Jing.
only hunter to use a crossbow.
Pretty cool.
And it's pretty underpowered.
Did you know it actually shortens the range when you use your 2 from your
Does
basic
it?
attack? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's very small, a small amount of range loss, but it
Hey,
exists.
I will take like 2 pixels of shortened range for that freaking stupid passive.
Well, why does the short range need to exist? Like, why?
Why does her passive need to exist other than her
That's-
law?
Fair enough.
Like, holy crap!
So,
Underpowered.
just to wrap up.
It hurts.
She's good.
That's my main peeve about her. It's like you ult and it's like, oh yeah, I ulted.
It's got a cool name. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
And you get to fly. But everything else about it's pretty strong. Like the attack
Everything
speed.
else
What's
is
the
like,
offer?
yeah, I
Good
like
strike?
everything else. Just her ult.
Yeah, strike. That's the one.
Oh, yeah. Q&A, guys, come on, get some questions.
that's it,
going
I've had
in the
enough.
chats.
Actually, I
No.
want a coffee and a cigarette. That's the issue.
We should all dab.
Smoke on stream. So, Josh, do you have any
Yo.
last words for yourself, and what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is at Nightfall, and the A is a 4. I'm writing a recap article of the OPL this week. Right now, it's almost done. So if you weren't able to catch a VOD, or you don't have the time to watch the VOD with a
AKA
stream,
Daddy.
then you can read that. Then there you go. It will sum up the games, and then yeah,
Awesome.
that's that.
Timmy, any last words?
Just that, you know, a lot of the problems that we have at the moment, time is going to be the major factor in, you know, sort of resolving a lot of them. Also, commitment and people sticking their hand up, having to go. You know, as C Principal just said, you know, join CC today. Just do it, really. Like, there's nothing you can really lose.
I'll do it. That's how much I'm willing to help the scene. I'll play
There you
anyone.
go. And he's not good unless he plays AMC, apparently.
Hey, 100% win rate. And second of all, what I
How
do,
many games?
100% is 100%. How can you get, it doesn't
Okay.
get any more impressive
One
than
game.
100%? No, it's more than one game. Come on. It's more than
Alright,
one,
alright.
isn't it, Josh? I think it's 3.
Well, sorry, I missed that.
My AMC. I only had that
It is a
one.
strong
Oh yeah,
100%.
dude, you better
Yeah.
watch out for his AMC.
100%.
Shit's off the chain.
But I'm
good.
available. I'll play in a Challenger Cup as long as I don't have to do nothing. I'm not very good at going on the right lane or the solo lane. And then I'm not good with the other lane. I die pretty easy with the 2 players. And it doesn't have a jungle in this game, does it? So I wouldn't be any good in the jungle. And then mid lane seems like that's a pressure lane. But I will give out free codes for skins for feeding. To you, Danny, do you have any last words?
Yeah. So anyone who's interested in the Twitch team, contact me. Either my Twitter or my Twitch. So
what
my
are
Twitch
they?
is like, my Twitch is twitch.tv/Devane21, and then my Twitter is Devane21_. So yeah, I'm probably not going to go back to Challenger Cup. And also anyone who's already in the team, I'm going to be sending out a message maybe tomorrow. I don't know how to send out messages to everyone. That's not going to be tedious. But yeah,
And just remember, guys.
hear from you soon.
Just remember that throughout all the streams we do over the next 10 weeks, you're automatically accumulating points, 1 point per minute, or if you're a subscriber to the channel, 2 points per minute. And what you get there is, I deleted the overlay so I can't show it, but what you get is the top 8 at the end of the period, they'll go into a draw to win a Smite snapback like these 3 are wearing. You also get to win a varsity jacket, just like Timmy's wearing, and then a Smite t-shirt, which I think, is that one that you're wearing, Josh?
It is,
It
but it's
is?
not the one that they
It's not
win.
the one, but it'll have Smite on it, and that's the cool thing for that. So don't forget with that. That's it for us, guys. We definitely went a long time. I think we spoke about some cool things. I appreciate everyone joining us tonight. Josh, thank you very much. Timmy, thank you very much. Devane, sorry for being mean to you. We really appreciated you coming on. I thought that was fantastic. But that's all from us. Tomorrow night is nothing on tomorrow night, but Tuesday, Thursday, what day is today? Thursday night we might have some Challenger Cup stuff. If not, we'll be back Saturday night with the OPL. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. That's it from us, guys, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye bye.